Hey, this is Ryan, joining you from just about an hour north of Miami. Today we have an interesting self-involved fellow with a snub-nosed hat from Brooklyn. His name's Elia Einhorn. He hosts Pitchfork Radio. He hosts Sonos Radio. You may know him from that. You may know him from the Scotland Yard Gospel Choir. Were you very into Gossip Girl? Or most likely, you probably have no fucking clue who this guy is. So we're going to ask him some weird shit. Are you with me, Abby? Awesome. You're with me. Let's go.
What's going on, man?
I'm perusing your Twitter.
Which one? Bothering the band?
Yeah, you got to get Adam Duritz on, man. This is a quest now.
Oh, you have no idea. The
Counting
quest.
Crows hoodie.
Holy shit. Well, I'll tell you, we had a funny thing with him once where I got him on the Talk House podcast, and it was with Eric Slick from Dr. Dog. But Adam got on, and his like team had like totally dropped the ball and didn't realize it was like a two-way interview. So Adam was like, I'm sorry, I have no idea who you are. I'm just gonna go. And he just hung up, and that was the end of that conversation. Eric Slick was a great sport about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So obviously we're huge fans of Counting Crows. We're 90s kids. Abby more so than slightly. And we've made it a mission since we started this. We're like, we have our list, our bucket list of people to get, and he's top 5 easy. And
I'm so glad that I was top 5 for you. Obviously, this is really special.
Well, we'll get to that too. And
okay.
And so we've slowly found ourselves in like close contact with people who know him. You know, like we're 1 degree away from him. A good friend of ours, Sean Barna, amazing musician. He opened up for the Counting Crows last year. Abby saw them. He was like, we should get Sean Barna on the pod. He was so great. He did our live show in New York. And every chance we got, we were like, hey, Sean, so can you get us Adam's email address? And he's like, I love you guys, but he's like, you wouldn't want me to get, and we're like, you can give our email address all you want. And he's just... shout out to Sean Barna. He in the post that we posted, Adam is wearing a Sean Barna shirt.
Oh, so Sean Barna, come on, man. Pass along Abby and Ryan's digits to Adam. Come on, man.
Yeah, dude. And then for Abby's 40th birthday in October, I really guilt tripped Sean. I was like, come on, man. This is like bucket list thing. Who knows how long we'll do the pod. It's Abby's 40th. Just make it happen. He goes, I'll text him. And then that was it. I don't have the heart to keep bothering him. It'll happen. I know it'll happen.
You're manifesting this.
Indeed.
Yeah, man. Well, so I should ask you before we get too deep. Are you guys are recording, right? I heard it say that cool.
Yes.
Awesome. And you every other level's okay on my mic?
Yes, everything sounds great. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not in the studio right now. I'm in the studio area, but because we just wrapped all our shows for the year, I took it down so that we just have like the desks up here, and I took down like the green screen and all that shit. So I'm just hanging out with you guys now at the desk.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thanks for having me on. This is cool, man.
And I must say that you have been on the list for quite a while, and so you and I have a history. We hung out at Pitchfork like 2 years ago.
Right. Okay. And I just realized this today. I didn't realize that it was the same. It took me a second.
So you didn't
know you from 2 different ways.
I know Ryan, just a blanket Ryan. And then also a few years ago, when I first stopped drinking, you sent me this awesome fucking thing.
Okay, so we can talk about that, right?
Yeah. I don't mind if you don't mind.
No.
And I don't know how long it's been for you. When I can't speak forever. When I first stopped drinking, I really loved hearing creative people, their stories, and not so much the gospel or the like holier than thou, just the real tactile, practical. I stopped drinking, and this is what I kept creating. Yeah, totally. I kept living the way that even crazier. I've had friends be like, Ryan, you're still as crazy sober, and I was like, That's exactly what I'm going for.
Oh yeah, totally, man. Totally. No, but you kept creating because you sent me that book of poetry.
I did.
Yeah, man. And
Yeah.
I had the Ryan that was like the sober poet, and then there was the bothering the band Ryan, and I didn't realize that they were they were the same person.
Yeah, man. And
you contain multitudes.
I try to.
Yeah.
And so thank you for everything and sticking with us, and making me look good at that Pitchfork Festival with my buddy Adam, which was a great lineup. And yeah, well, thanks for doing Bothering the Band. Are you ready for some super dumb questions?
Let's get into it, man. I'm ready for some super dumb shit. Oh, can we swear?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Abby, can we swear?
If we couldn't swear, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, I'm glad you asked if we were recording though, because there has been some times where we just got so excited and we're like, we missed so many gems. And I've had
some sad moments.
We did it with Randy Randalls recently from No Age.
I was listening to that, and that actually makes sense because it does kind of go straight in. Because I like Randy, so when I was checking out your show, I was like, "Oh man, Randy was on." We're friendly and we've worked together a bunch, and that dude's awesome. But yeah, I now that makes sense. But but I just thought it was editing, so you played it off.
Well,
it just set off my professional podcast producer notes.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone else would have noticed.
I don't think the layman would know. Yeah, Randy's great. He did our live show in LA, and then we just stayed friends with him. And when the new album came out, we're like, "Oh, we'll get you back on." So,
fuck yeah,
very cool. Okay, Elia, how are you and where are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty well, man. I'm full of coffee and I'm full of paneer. So they're evening each other out. And where I'm in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, in the studio, which, like I say, I'm I'm kind of in the studio. I'm in the studio room.
Love Fort Greene.
Why do I still sound like a stoner after so many years sober? It's just never going to go away, I don't think. But yeah, Fort Greene's amazing. And I know where you guys are. You're in Florida, about an hour north of Miami. And Abby, you're in Wyoming.
I am.
Which I was surprised about, to be honest, because I've never done an interview either as the host or the guest with anyone in Wyoming. It was always a drive-through state on tour where everyone would go, "My God, it's so beautiful here." That was always the association,
In the summer, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I guess that's true. This was a summer. Oh, no. We even went through in the winter once.
Wow. You made it through the state of Wyoming in the winter? That's so hard to do.
Yeah. Man. So you said you went there or through there on tour. Dive into that.
Oh, so I used to lead the band, the Scotland Yard Gospel Choir.
Mm-hmm.
We were on Bloodshot Records long before their recent meltdown, RIP. Although I know that now they've been bought by that conglomerate that just bought like Kill Rock Stars, Alligator, and Bloodshot. Anyway, so yeah, man, we were touring. We were out west and drove through Wyoming on that one. And I remember driving back from Minneapolis in the middle of winter, which was fucking horrible for anyone who's toured the Midwest. It's treacherous. It's just treacherous. We were based in Chicago at that point. Now I do music as Fashion Brigade, and it's like a collaborations project. So I'm sitting on a new EP that I'm in meetings with a couple labels about to figure out who's going to do it.
So go ahead. My bad.
Oh, the one thing I can say about it, because I've said it publicly somewhere else, is Lee Scratch Perry is on it, which is for me like one of the most exciting things ever. Me and Lee were working together before he passed.
We have a question. Not so much a question, but we'll get there. It pertains to that because I knew that about you, and something else I knew about. I know you more from the writer observation side. And I'm curious if our listeners know that as well, or if they're more like, what are you most proud of, most recognized for?
That's a good question, because I don't know if those two are the same or not. I mean, it also depends geographically. Like in Chicago, a lot of the time I'm like, oh my God, that's the guy from the Scotland Yard Gospel Choir. You know what I mean? And I still get that, which I love, because it doesn't happen in New York. New York never cared much for us. But but by far I'm much better known for hosting like Pitchfork Radio, Sonos Radio, Talk House, and like a bunch of like music TV, bands in town stuff, Pitchfork TV. So definitely like that's where millions of people have heard my voice. And then with my music, I would say maybe hundreds of thousands of people have heard my voice there. And then, I've got a face for radio, so it's not like I'm getting stopped off the street or anything very often. But when I do, it's always nice,
I have to point out that you're getting page like 2 in a brand new notebook.
Whoa, sexy notebook.
Because we just
bothering the band.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Oh, can I tell you something? You guys have incredible theme music. You have incredible theme music because I feel like it fits the absurdist approach that you take. This is almost like, I feel like a meta deconstruction of what podcasting can be. And the music sets that up so perfectly. I was thinking this as I was listening to you guys walking around the neighborhood today, to you and Randy Randall. Well,
thank you for listening. And that is my daughter playing the guitar or attempting to play the guitar.
I love it. It's like an open E, right? And someone's just whacking away on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we always say we are not musicians. It just happens to be our first love. And when the pandemic started, we're like, how do I was writing an article series called Bothering the Band. Similar thing. And Abby was like, oh, you should turn it into a podcast. And I was like, you should turn it into a podcast. I don't know how to do smart stuff like that. And, as luck would have it, and hard work and very punk rock way of doing it, we're like, oh, we need an intro. Podcasts have intro songs. And I was like, I have this thing I just recorded of my kid just banging away on the guitar.
I love it. No, it's perfect. It's honestly up there with like top 3 shows intro. I'm serious too. I'm really serious.
Goodness, theme song. Wow, it's like Cheers, Bothering the Band.
Well, I mean, for like shows, it's you guys. There's this Indian one I love called like Kulki something. And it's got like a sarangi part that's like very exciting. And then you gotta love Brian Lehrer on WNYC. They're like, like it's 10 o'clock in New York when you hear that shit.
Oh, I love it.
I think you're up there with those two.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to try not to go down crazy rabbit holes at some point, but do you remember, and I don't know if it's still around, I think it might still be, The Alternate Side from WFUV?
No. You gave me a panic though, because I do have my car parked and I have to move it for Alternate Side in the morning. And for a second I was like, fuck. Tomorrow's Friday, man. No, I don't know that show.
So the WFUV, has a great radio station in New York, and they did this when I first moved to New York in like 2005. Indie and that folk hipster stuff was popping off in Brooklyn.
Yeah, totally.
And one radio station that a friend turned me on was an online radio station called The Alternate Side from WFUV, and it was banger after banger, and everyone from bands that hadn't broken yet to classics, and
I'll have to see if there's any like archives on YouTube. I love listening to old radio stations. It's like stuff from around the world that people have caught and put up.
It's very KXP. It's
can't go
same
wrong
vibe,
with that.
same vibe. So
shouts Cheryl Waters and Kevin Cole.
I
got to play there once, and Kevin gave me this amazing tour of his tea collection. Kevin's like a serious tea connoisseur. And if you're a band, you get to go into his office and see the tea. It was pretty special. He's got like dozens and dozens of types.
Did you have some? Did he pour you some?
I don't remember. Funny thing about me back then, like I'm like half British, and I like only drink black tea, and he's like a green tea guy. So it's I'm not sure if I had any or not, but yeah.
Love me some tea. I worked at a tea house in New York for 5 years.
And were you at Moby's?
No, it wasn't Moby's. It was Alice's Teacup.
Oh,
Do
I
you remember
remember
that place? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
See,
was
now
just
you don't even have to worry about taking us off track because I can't fucking stay focused tonight. You're gonna have to reel me in, guys.
It's good. I have our list. All right. What's the first music you fell in love with?
Depeche Mode.
Wow.
Yeah. That was the first one that I was like fucking crazy for. I was really into pop radio and I used to listen to Casey Kasem do the top 40 every Sunday. I loved that. And man, it was so weird to realize that he was like the voice of what, Shaggy, right? On
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo later, many years later. But I loved the top 40. And I loved like B96 and stuff in Chicago, which was like dance and R&B and like, you know, shit like that. But the first one I was crazy for was Violator by Depeche Mode. That came out when I was 10. My sister bought me that for my 10th birthday.
Oh wow. Do you mind if I ask how old are you?
43.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
around the same age. Abby and I
Yeah.
just turned 40 in October. She's what is it, 8 days before me.
Oh,
Um
you two are cute.
Thanks. We've been best buds since middle school.
I know. I love that. My partner, Mark, you know, who I run my company 3DB,
Mhm.
3 decibel 3DB that does like all the stuff we talked about. Like he and I have been friends since we were like 12 and 13. It's there's nothing like it.
There's nothing like having someone to push you places you never thought you'd go.
Totally.
Yeah. I feel like a couple of years ago, if I told Abby, I'm like, you're gonna be producing and editing a pretty cool podcast, and we're gonna talk to like Elia Einhorn, she'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
She'd be like, who the fuck is that?
Oh man. Okay, real dumb question. Have you ever taken one of those staged old-timey photos?
Oh man, not the old timey ones. But I live in, like I said, in Fort Greene, and there's like a tin type photo booth that comes to the park when it's warm out. So the first time I saw it, me and Amy were there with our daughter Conway, and we were like, yo, that's so cool, man. We gotta do it. But it's like 40 or $50 to get it done. And we're like, fuck this, ridiculous. You could just put it to some stupid ass iPhone filter on if I cared that much about looking like I play in the Lumineers, you know? So no, I haven't. I went to one fun wedding once where they had like a photo booth though, and that was fun. Where you put on stupid hats and mustaches and shit. I can fuck with that.
All
Yeah,
those
I've
little
done
things
that.
you like hold over the little mask you
Yeah,
hold over your
totally,
face.
totally.
Yeah.
I feel like somewhere in Jackson Hole, there's one of those old-timey Old West photo places. Yeah, two.
Oh, two of them. Holy moly.
Judge Roy Bean's old time photos.
They're battling
Wow.
it out for supremacy.
See, I'd go to that. The thing is, like, I think there's something like too cloying about the asshole in Fort Greene Park doing it. You know, the hipster version. But if it's somebody named Judge Brown,
Roy Bean.
Roy Bean, it's like, bloody hell, you got to do that. And it's probably like $7, right?
And people do. I run a hotel, and one of their favorite things to come back after a day is they're like, we saw all these animals, and also look, we took this photo.
Nice.
It still has its luster.
I have them in our lost and found from people that leave them behind, and we've started putting them up in the back office.
Oh, that's cute.
I want
that's
them.
a good idea.
I would send them to friend of the pod, Mark Hill. I like to send my friend Mark found photographs. It's real fun. It's real dumb. Try it sometime.
I need to give you a magazine. I just found my old issues of. Do you remember Found Magazine?
I do.
If we ever meet in person, I just found some old issues, and it's fantastic, man. It was such a cool magazine. I remember I did a show with the guy once, and he gave me a bunch. It was great. Speaking
of old magazines, Abby sent me some old Mad magazines.
Oh, classic. I was a big fan as a kid. Anytime you could convince your parents to buy it for you at the grocery store, it was a successful trip.
Oh, absolutely. I think I appreciate it so much more now. I brought it with me to the beach, a couple of these to the beach last weekend, and I was reading them and I was like, this is pretty good. The stories are way longer than I remember.
That's funny. Yeah. Now they're probably like, you know, BuzzFeed
listicles
sized. Yeah, they're listicles now.
I hate myself for using that word.
I hate that word.
No, Did you go to did you go to college?
Yes, I went to music school in Chicago. I went to Columbia College.
Oh,
And actually, you
cool.
know who was there at the same time as me was Common, which is pretty crazy. He'd like been famous in Chicago already. Like we were super into Resurrection, that first record.
Mm-hmm.
But he like decided he wanted to go back to music school. It was awesome. But yeah, man, it was cool. It was like a kind of modern. I went there because it was like a modern music program. So we had to do some classical theory, but a lot of it was like jazz and like I got to do like a master class with Terry Riley. It was a cool
Oh,
scene there.
man, I feel you know what's every so often we have a guest on that I'm like, "Ah, this is not doing this person justice. We're gonna just ask you a bunch of dumb questions when you have this like crazy life story. That being said, I can't wait till you come out with a memoir. And if so, what would you call it?
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
That's perfect.
I love it.
Uh,
It's gonna be a
that's what I
scorcher too, you know?
that's what I titled the Scotland Yard Gospel Choir that was last record that was never released that we were working on. That in the end we were just like, fuck this. Seemed like a good
And
idea at the time.
and there'll be a small paragraph bother, and then I did this podcast just bothering the band because this guy kept bothering literally.
Oh, I'm glad you did. I need it because I'm so busy in life. Like, it's funny. Like, I emailed Abby, and Abby was like, "I wish every guest could be like you, like disorganized." But it's like because I need it. I like need the organization to be able to do so much shit. And if it falls apart, I'm like, I'm lost. You know?
I was gonna save it till after, but after we always shoot the shit, and I would have said, "Wow, he was on time. He's so personable." You know this as well as
uh,
anyone. Sometimes you get a guest that you love, like you truly love their music, but they're not the best like speaker or the
oh
best
yeah,
with
man.
technology,
No,
and
yeah.
sometimes it's a struggle. So we
Oh,
appreciate.
110%, man. I've been in those situations so many times.
Okay, so when you were at Columbia, what was the coolest music on the radio and then the coolest music amongst your friends?
Mm. Well, I would say the coolest music that was on the radio in Chicago at that time, because you got to remember that was a time of terrestrial radio still,
Mm-hmm.
was this station called WLUW, which became Chirp, um, Chicago Indie Radio Project, I think is what it stands for. And it's still, Chirp is still going, and they do the record fair at Pitchfork every year. They curate
Oh,
the record
okay.
fair. But back then, they were still part of WLUW, which was out of Loyola University. And that place was fucking awesome. It was like a bunch of just like a bunch of music nerds. I guess it was like college radio on steroids, where everyone was such ahead and there were all these kind of Chicago characters or people who would go on to be more notable later who were just playing weird shit over there. I remember two of my favorite shows was there was a show called Women on Women where it was Jenny and Elizabeth and they would only spin music by women. And then there was another one called Think Pink where I was the honorary mostly straight co-host sometimes with Eric Roldan, who would go on to run the amazing queer center Howard Brown out there. And we would just spin like queer oriented or awesome music. It was fun. So that I was hooked on that. I listened to that all the time.
Oh man, I'm actually the emotion I'm feeling right now is jealousy because we grew up in Orlando, Florida,
Oh man.
and there wasn't a lot of that. You really had to do. Luckily, we found our musical ways, but you really had to dig for it. It was
Mm.
not presented on the radio.
But see, I wonder if that was good for you. I know that's maybe like, but like
Mhm.
conversely, like if you have to fight for it, it means so much more.
I agree with
100%.
that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I still have the habit today where if you texted me, check out this cool band, the first moment I can switch over to Spotify and do it, I like make a point to do it because I know I'm going to forget, and it becomes almost like a anxiety work task. Like I got to check this off. If I don't
Mm-hmm.
listen to at least like a couple tunes from, especially if
Mm-hmm.
someone I respect, So if like Abby sends me to check out this band, I'm like, I'm at the playground with my kid, but as soon as I get home, I will.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I put it on my to-do list. I literally have like listening. I mean, thankfully it's part of my job, but like I do, like if people send me shit, like someone that I trust, I put it on the to-do list. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun, I don't know. I feel overwhelmed now. Like I'm like, oh, what else can we talk about? Stick to the questions. Let's stick to the questions. Do you currently have a open box of baking soda in your fridge?
Two. I have a kid and I'm disorganized. So you got to have two of those motherfuckers. Like one's not going to cut it. Like this morning, now mind you, this wasn't in the fridge, but like this afternoon, I guess it was, I decided I was going to like make some sweet potato while I was on break. I like to take these like 10-minute breaks, like throw some in the oven. You know what I mean? Like you kind of clear your brain a little bit. And I reached into the bag and it was like mush. It was like fucking mush sweet potato. It was disgusting. And I mean, that's why I need 2 bags. You know what I mean? I'm part of the food waste problem. I can't get my shit together. I even bought one of those. Have you guys seen these fucking plastic? They look like little plastic cages and you put berries in them because it's supposed to, like, you know, the berries don't rot so fast. I don't know if you have any idea what I'm talking about. The idea, I think, is you separate it from the moisture, right? No way, man. I'm still throwing these fucking berries out. They're like mold all over. And I'm telling you, it's not like I'm like ultra negligent. It's too much, man. It's too much.
We could start a dad podcast about raspberries. Just how many raspberries, 1, I buy, and then 2, how many I waste because they're either like too mushy or, you know,
Or
they
little
go
black
bad.
spot.
Yeah, they go bad too. Very quickly. You get a day.
Do, man. I'm putting some fucking raspberry heiress as kids through college, I'll tell you.
That's the quote. Okay. This is my favorite question. What would you do if you went to the doctor and he or she, right when they walked into the room to examine you, cracked open a Monster Energy drink?
Oh, I'd have respect for that, man. I'd have respect for that. That's a motherfucker who's getting shit done. I drink a lot of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. So if this doctor is ready to get down, I mean, look, if he was about to cut open my spleen, that could be problematic. You know, I don't want him so juiced up he takes a kidney too. But like within reasonable bounds, I want that guy to be the best doctor he can be. I definitely have a lot of my best ideas while I'm highly caffeinated. And also it somewhat takes down my outreach inhibition. So I'll be like, I have a great idea for this huge artist and I'm going to do it. And it, like, you know, 2 or 3 out of every 10 work out. So it was totally worth the extra caffeine. It was worth the caffeine crash. So I'm here for it. Caffeinated doctor. You remember Prince Rama, that band? They used to say they always drank Monster Energy drinks. And whenever somebody would be like, oh, are you guys sponsored by Monster? They'd say, no, Monster Energy drinks are sponsored by us. I want a doctor with that philosophy.
Oh, goodness. I, as a excessive coffee drinker, you don't think it's, for lack of a better word, trashy, the energy drinks?
Oh, I don't drink them.
No,
I don't drink them.
I don't think I've ever had one.
I feel like, you know, they seem to be, for a lot of people, they seem to be part of a good night out. You know what I mean? And I get it, you know. I don't know. It's not my cup of tea.
No, it's not.
It's not my cup of coffee. Yeah.
It's not my cup of Monster.
Yeah.
I put it in a cup like a classy doctor.
No, I'm with you. I've literally, not only have I never had one, I've never even tasted one. I think it's a concept that I'm not interested in. But, you know, I respect people's need for help staying awake and on point.
I used to work for Red Bull in college.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do the Red Bull University stuff?
I don't know what that is. So no, I don't think so.
No.
We just drove around in the silly little car and gave it away for free.
Oh, the one with the can on top?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
I was in college. So like, you know, they're like, this is to help you study. And I'm like, go to my friend's house. I was like, here's a case for later tonight. we're going to take Jaeger bombs. Okay, bye.
I love it, dude. No, I mean Red Bull. Yeah, I mean Red Bull. Like they I will say they were a model for taking money from a product that was minting money and doing dope shit with it. You know, like the Couch Wisdom series, Red Bull University. They were awesome.
Tog.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's where you build these like crazy flying machines, and they send you down this like 100-foot ramp and like
I've
launch.
seen that footage. I've seen that footage.
It's like a soapbox derby on Red Bull.
That looks insane.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a time travel experiment right there. I have to go back to coffee because you said something about your ideas popping off. Do you have a sweet spot? Because I get up very early. I start drinking coffee immediately, and I am a morning person. I have this great, I could say hour, maybe 10 to 11, and where I'm just shucking and jiving. Do you guys have, Abby? You and I have never talked for that. You're a coffee wacko.
Is that a phrase we use? Isn't that phrase doesn't it connote something else?
Which?
Shucking and jiving.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't want to get into it here. It's too complicated, but it's too complex. But I know what you're getting at. You're saying you're on fucking fire.
Yeah, I'm like creative. I'm like present and creative, and I can handle a conversation better than at other times of the day. And
I love that feeling.
It's better than any booze I ever had, because again, I don't know if you ever had this too. When I was in my darkest drinking days, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get drunk and write all night long, and then it was all garbage. It was all complete and utter garbage, and anyone I hear like in movies, you're like, Johnny Cash wrote this song, well, I'm like, I don't think he did. I think that's a lying romance that we created.
Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit around that for sure. There's a lot of like dangerous mythology out there.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a Planet Hollywood?
Oh, absolutely.
Which
I went
ones?
once, and it was fucking awesome. I'm totally in for all that kind of stupid ass shit. We went to
cool.
one. It was like a kid's kindergarten, a friend of ours' kid's kindergarten graduation. This is like 15 years ago, and I was still living in Chicago. So we went to one like downtown, and it was like, how much fun was that? It's so stupid. It's awesome.
But who has their kid's kindergarten graduation there?
He loves Sylvester Stallone.
This was like, you know how there's a lot of single mothers. A lot of my friends who are single mothers have this like, who have like one kid, have this really intense relationship with that kid. It was one of those situations. So she was like, we are going all the fucking way out. And so like we had this party and she threw it there. It was awesome. It was don't they have like molten lava cake?
Yeah,
and
they all do.
Yeah, it was so fun.
And Frank Stallone was there.
Like that shit, Rainforest Cafe. Like I'm here for all that shit, man. Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, I
love taking my kid to Chuck E. Cheese.
I went to a Chuck E. Cheese recently. We had a blast. It was my nephew's first time.
Totally, dude.
He's too little, so I had to hold him up for all the games, but totally worth it.
Love it. Love it.
I took my daughter to a Rainforest Cafe in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And this was, I don't know, 4 years ago. She was 4. And we're sitting, we're about to order. And it didn't happen when I was there as a teen, but suddenly like the lights dim and the thunder goes off and all the animatronic animals start going nuts. And she lost her shit, dude. We had to we had just scary, ordered right? Too. And I was like, no. And I couldn't find Florida's notoriously bad service. I couldn't find the guy. So I was like, let's get the hell out of here.
Oh no.
Then we went to the food court. It was much better.
And she was happy there.
So happy.
Oh, bless. Yeah, that shit can get scary, man. Chuck E. Cheese is down to only Chucky being animatronic now. And the rest of the band's all on video, which is really interesting. It's changed.
Lame.
I mean, it's no showbiz pizza.
Yeah, this is like what's it called? Participation trophy generate. I'm just kidding. We have a birthday party question, which is very wild.
Okay, hit me.
What's your favorite birthday party memory from your childhood?
Can I do an adult one anyway, since I'm sort of a
100%
still living like I'm 7?
Yes.
So Sonos was it this those like Sonos had this idea that they were gonna like give people who they considered influencers money to throw a party, right? So I was turning like 37 or something, and they were like, look, we'll give you like $1,500 if you want to throw a party. And like you don't have to like be like it's a Sonos party, just like we'll put Sonos speakers in and you can do whatever you want. And I was like, and I liked the people who were doing it. I ended up working with them a lot later on Sonos Radio. This is before that launched. So I was like, I was like, so before the pandemic, every year I would throw what I would call Elia's Mad Tea Party. And for my birthday, I'd throw a tea party. And with like a ton of records and like so for this one, I got them to give me $2,500 and I hired a chef to make us all like scones. And I hired Frankie Cosmos and Shamir and Andy Rourke from the Smiths to DJ. And we threw a fucking party at OK Space, like OK Africa, like the Roots' space. We threw a fucking party at the Roots' space, man. It was amazing. And the reason I'm thinking about that is because I saw a couple pictures. I saw this really cute picture of Greta and Shamir together the other day on my phone, and I was like, oh my god, that party! I don't know, like, I mean, it was definitely like a wild use of their funds, but it was so fun for me. It was just like somebody had just let me do whatever I want, you know, like. Yeah. So anyway, that was fun.
Oh, first of all. I'm geeking out internally because you and I have very similar sensibilities. This childlike wonder of I don't know, taking an idea and kind of running with it. I see it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I dig that. We can't talk about it now, but the logistics of this party or what I'm in, like who you emailed, what you did, like all like that stuff to me fascinates.
Well, I mean, I just texted him. I was just like, "Will you guys come DJ my party?" And like and I was just like, you know, we don't have a ton of money, but we have some money. And I think like I even put in some of my own money because I got carried away with this shit, you know, and I wanted the chef too. But I was just like, let's just fucking do it, man. So we were already, I had already DJ'd with all of them, or not Shamir, but we've played together. But I DJ'd with Frankie Cosmos all the time. They used to be my like kind of in-house DJs, and Andy had done a couple of DJ things with me before. So I was just like, let's all do it, and we'll all get a little bit of Sonos money and throw a big party. And Sonos were thrilled because they were like, who had like done that kind of shit? Most people would just like, you know, like throw a party and spend like $500 and just pocket the money, you know, which was fine. That was, you know, but I was just like, let's spend that and more.
That's
my kid's going to listen to this later and be like, why aren't you paying for college, Dad? You were hiring chefs to make scones.
I love scones.
Worth it.
Worth it.
This is my second scone conversation of the day. Not kidding. Nice. Which is like super wild. And the fact that you led us into the birthday party combo is great. You're hired. You can take over hosting Bothering the Band. I'd rather be a co-host anyways.
Oh shit.
Okay. Would you rather a world without horns or a world without forks?
Did you say horns?
Yeah. Like trumpets.
Did you get this because my last name is Einhorn? Is that the okay, well done. Well, man, I mean, honestly, a world without horns for sure. Because I mean, I was just in India. Like I just got back. I spent 3 weeks in India. And my friend Prakash there was teaching me how to eat with my hand. And I do think it's an amazing way to eat, but also I was very grateful when I got the fork back. That shit is difficult as fuck. So a world without forks seems to me to be incredibly difficult. Whereas a world without horns is just like all the assholes in the New York traffic who, like, before the light even turns green are like, honk, honk, go. Like, then they'd have to, what would they do? Maybe they'd yell or something.
Yeah, they would yell, but I see where you're coming from. But
Yeah.
then there's no great horn sections in songs. There's
And no, you're right. If we extrapolate the definition of horn, you're right. That's I mean, I love ska, man. I love
we love ska music.
I love second wave ska. So what are you gonna do? Yeah, if we had to do away with all brass, forget forks, man. I'll eat like Prakash taught me, man. It was fun. It was seriously
But you
fun.
still have spoons.
You still have spoons.
Oh, you're right. My God, what am I thinking?
And chopsticks.
Yeah, chops. Okay. Absolutely. Forks are off the gig. Forks are off the gig. This is a horns world.
I like that you changed his mind immediately.
Well, yeah. Do they have dude, in Berlin, they have this. So Einhorn means unicorn in German, right? So they have a series, a whole condom line, Einhorn condoms. And it was so funny to see your name plastered all over the stores, advertising condoms. I didn't see that coming.
Did you buy some?
I didn't mean that as a pun. Oh, of course, man. Yeah. Of course, I had to buy some. It was too funny, man. But it's weird making reservations over there because they just think you're some asshole calling it being unicorn for 2 at 8:30. They're just who the fuck are, you know what I mean? Who the fuck calls and gives the name unicorn for dinner?
Oh, goodness.
It's one of those Ellis Island names. I'm not even kidding. It's like Jews escaping pogroms going through Ellis Island and these motherfuckers being like, your name's unicorn, stick with it. It wasn't our name in the old country, but what are you going to do?
Oh, goodness. It's hard to segue here, but which Breakfast Club character are you most like?
Ali Sheedy.
Okay. And can you tell us why? I know why, but
I mean, I definitely spent a lot of my teenage years listening to Bauhaus and wearing all black, and but then how Ali Sheedy, unfortunately she goes too far at the end. She comes out too far. But when you get a goth kid who learns how to talk to people, that's a beautiful thing, Those are a lot of my best friends.
Yes. Did you have a goth phase, like a true goth phase?
Oh yeah, man. I'll send you a picture. Or you can look on my Instagram. It's somewhere. Every couple of years I have to post this great picture of me and my then girlfriend wearing all black with our hair dyed black, eyeliner, black lipstick. The funny thing was, I'm wearing glasses now, and even then I had to wear glasses, so it's eyeliner under glasses. It's quite a combo. But yeah, man, I love that, and I still,
adorable.
I still wear almost all black. Right now I'm wearing head to toe black. So
that's crazy. Looking back at those scene of kids and the parents back, what our generation saying oh, those kids are bad. You're like, do you know them? They're in the band. They're nerds. They just wear all black.
Oh, totally.
They're sweet kids who just don't want to talk to you and love Pantera. What do you?
Yeah, dude. It's funny, my favorite band of all time are the Smiths. And
yeah,
I said to Amy, my wife Amy, I was like, I want our daughter Conway to love the Smiths, but I don't want her to need the Smiths like I do, I want her to be better adjusted and to just enjoy their music,
Yeah, I feel that way with my daughter and punk rock, because
totally
at 13 years old, right around the time Abby and I met, I needed Operation Ivy and a few, and weird enough, I've never turned my kid onto anything listen to this, but there are things I put on and she gravitates towards, and it's surprising and punk rock is one of those things where she's like, oh, what is this? I like this. And she starts bobbing and weaving, shucking and jive.
Oh no.
Sorry, I had to call it back.
My kid totally had the same thing with punk, man, where we like even started a playlist of songs that she like got into. It was so exciting for us because,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the time you listen to like my year-end Spotify list was all fucking Hamilton, or not Hamilton. What's it called? What's the other Lin-Manuel Miranda thing?
Oh, I don't.
Where they're in Colombia. There's like the Magical House, Encanto.
Oh, Kanto. Yes,
Like
yes,
my
yes.
my year-end list was like all Encanto shit, you know, because of Conway. But like, you know, she was like really into the Clash for like 1 week, and it was so exciting for me, you know, and the Ramones.
Yes, my daughter loves the Clash.
I taught this songwriting course once for Dave Eggers, is like what is it called? 836, I think, or 826, the like literacy thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been quite a while now, so I'm just blanking in this moment. But it's an awesome organization. I've done a bunch of fundraising for them over the years. But and I brought in a Ramones song, and I played a Ramones song for these kids who were 12, and they were like, "Why would you?" They were like, "It was let's see, hey ho, let's go." What's the part about hitting them with the bat? It's like
Beat on the brat with the baseball
but it's not
bat.
beat on the brat. That's where I was going. Yeah, beat on the brat with the baseball. It's like it's shoot him in the back now. That's what it is.
Oh,
in the chorus, shoot him in the back now. And they were all like, "Why would you shoot him in the back?" And you don't think about that shit. I mean, I should have.
Oh, wow.
That was one of my first workshops. I thought about it after.
Wow.
But I did not play that one for Conway.
My daughter does love the Clash. Rock the Casbah. We make up new lyrics to it. It generally it's wherever we're going.
Nice.
And so it's Rock the Dollar Tree is a favorite.
Oh my God.
We love the dollar store. This is my face hurts from smiling.
That's a philosophy. That's like, you know how Andrew WK is like, he parties everything, like you party a cheeseburger. You guys are rocking every location.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it.
I can't wait to play this episode for her. We haven't said anything too bad.
Swore a few times, but and it talked about shooting people in the back.
I'll just skip over
and
that.
And you may have accidentally said a phrase that's not de rigueur. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, just like Back to the Future 2, when it gets a little dicey, we fast forward it to the fun parts.
There you go.
What's been your most surreal experience in the music biz?
Meeting Brian Wilson. Wow. No. It was either meeting Brian Wilson or the first time I worked with Bjork. It was one of those two. But meeting Brian Wilson, like by that point, I'd met a lot of my heroes, you know, and but meeting Brian Wilson, I had to sit down for like 25 minutes by myself after and just calm down. Like I was seriously a little shaky. It was so exciting for me because he's just like, I really do think of him as a true genius and someone whose music I've loved since I was a teenager. So that was, I don't know if surreal is the right, but it felt surreal because it's like, I know you're a real person. You know what I mean? I know that in theory that you're a real person, and yet you were so monolithic to me that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's hard to make that person real in the presence. Abby, I know I want Abby, tell them why we just lit up.
If you listen to our episode from last week, Rockaway Records, that record store has been around in LA for over 40 years. But Wayne Johnson, who owns it, is friends with Brian Wilson as well. And so the half the episode is just he and I geeking out about the Beach Boys together.
Oh shit, I'll listen to that, dude.
Yeah,
you would get along with that dude too.
He's amazing. If you ever are in the Silver Lake area of LA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I always go, you know, wherever I go record shopping, but of course LA, you get sucked into Amoeba. You're just like,
of course,
you know, it's it's so hard not to be like first stop Amoeba.
Yeah, and he says some lovely things about Amoeba, but his store, he's moved mostly to memorabilia and collectibles these days. Cool. Like he sold Dennis Wilson's surfboard. He was telling us, like the one that's in all the photos.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So check out that episode, everyone.
Oh my God, I will.
So, I mean, when I first started following you and just bothering you, it was when you were posting a lot of you and Lee Scratch Perry. And you had your goth phase. I had a hard reggae phase. When I was younger. And to me, that's that's a Brian Wilson-esque thing to me. So like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know, just tell us a little fun story about Lee Scratch Perry.
Sure. Well, so the story behind getting to meet that dude is uh like I'm talking about being a goth as a teenager, but I think, teenagedom allows for all this sort of like getting into all kinds of different things. And I really loved reggae, but at that point I only knew popular reggae. I didn't really have a guide at that point. So I knew like Bob Marley, I knew Peter Tosh, I knew like shit like that. So Scratch to me was like the producer on the early Whaler stuff, was kind of how I knew him until I was a little older. Then I started collecting his stuff, and then I started this book club during the pandemic, actually called the Black Ark Book Club, and it was to read the biography People Funny Boy about Scratch. And I had just released my first Fashion Brigade LP. Well, the only one that there is so far, the Fashion Brigade LP on Gentle Reminder Records. And a bunch of us, it was in the music industry, were reading this. It was like a couple Pitchfork radio folks, Krungbin, like just a bunch of people who are like radio, like, or like reggae dub heads, reading this book. So I said to Reese, who runs Gentle Reminder Records, like, would you mind reaching out to Scratch, like, just to see if he like might work with me? And he was like, Reese was like, I mean, I guess, but like, don't hold your breath, dude. It was like, they were like, I get it. Like, it's Scratch. But Reese reached out, and they got back to us, and Scratch was like, yeah, I listened. I'll totally do a version of this. And I had a period of time where I was so obsessed with Scratch that I tried to like buy some of his artwork, and they never emailed me back, like the gallery or like whoever, his wife Mary, I now know, is probably the one who like never got back to me. But so because of that, I was like, man, like I'd already wanted a piece of his. So I was like, well, Reese, can you ask him? Like, he did the version, it was awesome. I was like, can you ask Scratch if he'll paint the cover for me? So Scratch painted the fucking cover, and I still haven't released this thing. I'm talking to a couple labels right now. I got to put it out this year. That's one of my on my to-do list. But so yes, I got to work with Scratch, and then I bugged him into letting me interview him, and it took me like a year. Like, you talk about like bothering people to get him on. It took me like legit a year and a half to get him. Not only he agreed very quickly, but like shit does not move fast in Lee Scratch Perry world. So he was like, I can't do it while I'm in Switzerland. I have to wait till I'm in Jamaica. It was a whole fucking thing, man. But then I got to interview him, and it was so powerful for me. And it was, as far as I know, the last interview he ever did before he passed. It was one of my career highlights to be able to spend time with him like that. It was really powerful. But yeah, man, so that's the story about me and Scratch. And we never actually met in person physically. We never got to like give each other a hug and say, oh, great to work with you. But we got to talk and text, and I have some crazy voicemails that he would leave me, like, which I can play for you off the air. Like, it's just like really wild, man. And I was just texting with his wife literally this week about Scratch, like, I'm making a zine to go with this release, this Fashion Brigade release, and I wanted to ask her a couple questions about Scratch for it. So he's still a part of my world, even though he's obviously ascended, and I think about him a lot. And we reread that book, the book club, because the writer David Katz, who's this wonderful reggae scholar, you probably know, being a reggae head,
Yeah.
like did like a beautiful new version of it earlier last year, and so the book club reread the whole thing. It was awesome.
Wow.
I'm giving you really long answers. I'm sorry, man.
No,
I know you guys don't edit this super tightly, so I feel like your listeners are going to be like, fuck this guy, talking motherfucker. Drank too
That's
much
what we're
coffee.
here for. No,
that's what
that
we're
is
here for.
what
I
we
also
are
had
here for.
chills
I know. I was going to say
as
that.
he was talking. No joke. I'm abandoning questions. Also, while you're talking, I'm thinking of follow-up questions, and by the time I like think of it, I'm on to the next like 3 follow-up questions. So I've like forgotten what the fuck I want to say. We're gonna have you back sooner than later.
I love it. Well, I'll say this too. we were talking about punctuality at the top. Scratch was like fucking hours late. Not only was he like weeks late to actually get to the studio, but once he was there, me and Mark literally spent like 2 hours just bullshitting on Zoom waiting for Scratch, man. It was so funny. Like, shit does not move at your pace in his world.
Oh, that's
You
incredible.
wait for him. Yeah.
Man, yeah, chills. This is kind of in topic. You said you're going to make a zine, and I have one of your awesome zines. Are you just fronting the money passion project?
Oh yeah, I lose money on Fashion Brigade.
Okay.
Scotland Yard Gospel Choir was an interesting thing because we all had to have day jobs for sure, but also like we were licensing a lot of stuff. So like we had songs on we had like 2 on Gossip Girl and 1 on the OC. It was like that era, So like we could kind of be like, okay, well, bang $1,000 into the, the van here, bang like, some money into the studio there, a couple grand for that. And like we all had to have jobs. Like I always worked in the vegan food industry. That was always my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like waiting tables at like different vegan restaurants and stuff. And but Fashion Brigade is just a losing proposition. I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, I make it for the art, and because of that, I just do whatever. I mean, I guess I always did, even when I was on a label, to be honest, but I just do whatever I want. The only downside is that I don't have like deadlines in the same way, and because I have a kid and I have a career, like those things kind of often take precedence as far as my time, because they are things that are happening in this moment, where so like I can fuck around with the record for way too long, you know what I mean, and like just let it sit. Like I've had this EP finished for like a year, and I'm finally now meeting with labels about it, so it's tough, but at the same time, like you only have X amount of energy. No matter if you drink 3 or 5 cups of coffee a day, you can't clone yourself yet. So.
3 or 5, that's Bush League, man. We got to talk about 10. I mean, you're speaking to the choir here, and this whole thing is a huge passion project that we just keep giving ourselves little goals with, bigger names, redesigns, whatever it may be, live shows. Like this time last year, we were like, Abby and I, we sat down, we're like, what do we want to accomplish in 2022? And one of the big ones was live shows. And it's a we come from this DIY kind of generation, and yeah, we ate money on all the live shows we did last year. And it's just something I want to teach my kid, that if you love something, you want to do it, don't wait. Just find someone cool enough that believes in you, sees the vision, and go out and do it. And ask, man. Like we did a show in LA, then we did a show in New York with David Cross was there. It was an insane show. Funny. And it's all just us being like, all right, let's just ask,
Dude, I'll say this. I know this is more of a like lighthearted podcast, but like, I'm just going to be real. My mom died when she was 52. My dad died before he was 70. Who the fuck knows how much time you're going to have? Anybody. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're going to do shit, just fucking get the fuck out there and do it. Just rock that shit now.
Yeah. And it might not be up to like, we're not in Madison Square Garden, but I'll be able to be like, oh yeah, we did a couple 100 episodes of this pod. We were watching, my kid and I were watching Alvin and the Chipmunks. Last weekend.
One with Neil Patrick Harris?
No, that's Smurfs.
Oh, that's Smurfs. They're all little fuckers. No, but the live action one though.
The live action one, Jason.
Yeah, me and my kid just watched this. Yeah,
we just watched it, and David Cross is the He's like the soft like the antagonist. Yes.
Yeah.
And I go, that guy was on Daddy's podcast twice, and like to her, movies are magical. And so that, like, the validation in her eyes to me gave me the validation. That. I was like, maybe I am pretty cool.
Oh, that's so cute, dude. I love that. Magical. I really love that. Yeah.
Very magical. Life is short, indeed.
Yeah, man. And again, not trying to be dark, but just like, it's just real, man. It's like, who knows what's going to happen? You got to do it now.
I love it. And I would love to end there because it's a good one, but we have a couple more dumb questions for you that I want to
Just
get
fly
out of the
that
way.
to the end, you know?
Mhm.
Fly that in Pro Tools to the end.
Our great editing system here. Okay. Do you consider yourself in show business?
Well, that's funny to say in show business because that's like such a LA thing to me, you know? It's like in the phrase in show business. Like, no, I'm gonna say I am not in show business. But like I went to go see Fallon this week, the week that we're taping. I don't know when this is gonna air. I'd never been to a show like that. And I was the guest of that band Dry Cleaning, who I love.
Oh,
I work
yeah,
with a
love that
bunch. And
band.
so they were playing, and it was like Al Pacino was the guest, which was so amazing for me. And Rupert Grint was there, you know, Ron Weasley
Yeah, of
from
course.
Harry Potter. And then the Roots, obviously, which, you know, are the band. And I was like, this is show business. Like
Yeah.
what they're doing here. Like there's this amazing director. She's like, you know, 30 seconds here, you go there. Like that is show business. Like we're just like professional music fans who have honed our craftsmanship to a level where we're able to do stuff at a very like highest level professional kind of like broadcast standard. But like, no, we are definitely not in show business. We're just like professional music fans who made a career out of it, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
not like that. I've been to a
yeah.
bunch of Conans.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, years ago,
Oh,
because you could just sign up and they would like it was kind of like a luck of the draw, and they would just call you or email you back and be like, you got 2 tickets for like a rando date in like a
oh my
month in
God.
the future. And so I would just do that constantly. I worked at a
Well, now I see why it's so fun.
it's so
I had like the best time.
it's so fun. I think I saw I can't remember some of the bands I saw, but again, you are perfect at segueing this because at one of the, if I swear this is pre-written, you have your own late
Al
night.
Pacino. Is that the like Al Pacino came
Al
to your
Pacino's
house? Is it
here.
ice cream or popsicles that you give him?
Hooah. That's a good question. What would you give him? Ice cream or popsicles? He asked for
Whatever I
something
had.
cold.
Whatever I had. Probably ice cream, knowing my kid.
Oh, that's so good. No, but you have your own late night talk show.
Mhm.
Who's the first couch guest? Who's the first musical guest?
Oh man. Well, so this is the business side of me. Is like I'm like, do I have to appeal to the masses or do I get to do whatever I want? It's just like when Chris what's that great comedian Chris Gethard, like when he had his show and he could do whatever he
Yeah.
wanted, you know?
That show is so good.
Or do I have to be like Fallon where it's like, you know, you have to know who it is? Can you just give me that to work with?
We don't
Option A.
Let's go A. You can do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want.
Mhm.
It's Paul Giamatti in a Spider-Man suit.
I once ran into Paul Giamatti on the street and he was filming like a Christmas movie in my neighborhood. So he was just like standing around like a fucking weirdo between takes, like wearing like Christmassy clothes. And I'd known Harvey Picar just a little bit, and so I loved like him in American Splendor was so special. So I just stopped and we talked about Harvey Picar for like 20 minutes between takes. But I've never worked with Giamatti. That dude's amazing.
Was it the Paul Rudd film?
I don't know. I never
Sells
saw
Christmas
it
trees because
Well,
that's a
maybe
great
it.
movie. And then he's also
Paul
in
Rudd wasn't
Fred
there for sure.
Claus.
I'll have to watch this and see because it
All
was
is
some years
bright.
ago now.
All is
Oh
bright.
my God, you guys are like Christmas movie experts. This is,
We're just
maybe you're
Paul Giamatti. We're Paul
experts.
Giamatti
Yeah.
experts. We're Giamatti freaks.
Well, okay, so if I don't have to bother about entertaining anybody, I would have I think I would probably have More Mother as my first guest. More Mother was my artist of the year last year. I thought she, like everything she did was so fucking cool. And I got to host her on I'd never actually met her. And I got to host her on Listening Room, the Pitchfork and Vans Channel 66 show I was hosting. And I was so thrilled to get to meet her. And she spun this amazing DJ set. So I would totally have her on. I'd have Kamei on as the musical guest. And you know who I've always wanted to interview, but I've never met is John Cale. I really
Wow.
love John Cale, and it means a lot to me because he's also Welsh, obviously, but also the Velvet Underground was
Welsh,
so insanely formative for me. And I've never met him. I've been to his shows. I've like been to his talks, even at South by and stuff. And like, I've never met the guy. I'd love to do that. So I know that's kind of, uh, if Netflix is listening and they want to give me a show, I'm ready to bring John Cale and More Mother on.
Two things. If Netflix is listening, can I just be like a PA on this show? I'll be a fucking janitor. Talk about life is short, just do things. I would be the shittiest gopher. You could call me names, whatever you want. I think that'd be fun. And then I know Abby, ask him, he's definitely heard it.
Wait, what?
The Velvet Underground, the Lou Reed shit you just sent me.
Oh yeah. Have you heard that? The new release?
The old demos.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Where he's like, Lewis Reed, 1965, because it's like the copyright thing. Lewis Reed.
Music and words, but then in a couple of the songs he like says it wrong and he's like giggling and he's like, no, music and words.
That's so great, man. It's so magical. That dude is one of my heroes.
I have a huge love of the Velvet Underground.
Did you guys see Laurie Anderson is putting out that book of it's something like my learnings in Tai Chi or something. And it's like philosophy and Tai Chi stuff. I can't wait to read this.
How did I miss this?
I did because I
just saw this on Pitchfork like this week or last week.
When you sent me that album, those demo tapes, I was like, I love Lou Reed. I was like, oh, I should buy a Lou Reed book. And I went down, I just started Googling and I found that shit. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to wait a little bit. Fun Lou Reed story. The first Avatar in Union Square, I'm with my buddies and we're waiting in line. Abby's heard this story before.
So when's the first Avatar? That was like 10 years ago or something?
13 years ago.
13,
so
okay,
2009.
Cool. 10.
Well, okay. It came out last year, so
gotcha.
Technically, it came out last year. We're in line to go into the theater, and my friend Mark goes, "Hey, that's Darren Aronofsky," and he's like, 10 people ahead of us, and I go, "You see who he's talking to, right?" And he goes, "No, who's that?" I go, "That's Lou fucking Reed, dude." And so God. I watch as Lou Reed goes to the bathroom and I go, "I'll see you guys later. I'm going to go pee with Lou Reed." And I went and I stood in next to Lou Reed. It was pretty great.
Did you take a peek?
No, I was in my head and probably shaking and not peeing at all.
Yeah, totally. You're like way too nervous to pee next to Lou Reed. I feel like Lou Reed could have peed. Like I had this teacher in high school. And he used to come into the boys' room instead of using the teacher's one, and he would pee like Superman. Like he'd put his hands on his hips, Mr. Gibbons would, and he would just pee. And like none of us would go pee next to Mr. Gibbons because no way. Like that's what's happening is Gibbons is peeing, and you wait. And I feel like that's how it'd be if I tried to pee around Lou.
Oh man, I
got to meet Lou a few times, and he was like a serious hero to me. But it was always kind of like in situations where it was like I wasn't interviewing him, you know what I mean? And he was the only person who's ever said to me, that Dylan song, if you see her, say hello. She might be in danger. Lou is the only person who ever said to me, if you see him, say hello. And I was like, oh my God, is this a generational thing? He was talking about Knox, that great downtown guitarist Knox, it's blank. But anyway, yeah, Lou is like absolute legendary level hero for me. And that record's fucking awesome. And like everything Laurie Anderson's doing for his life, like in his archives, is so powerful to me. And she's just like one of my heroes.
Well, I love her. It's so funny because I love her for so many other different reasons, like her poetry and all this shit. And then like to have those two worlds, and I don't think it like hit me at first that they were, together forever. And when I found that out, it was just like, okay, the world makes sense. There are things that make sense.
Yes. Yeah. and seeing them together was really special.
Wow, dude,
really
you got
special.
some great stories.
Dude, I got to go to Lou Reed's house once.
Stop it.
I got to go to his house once, and I remember looking at, I went to pee in the bathroom, and his razor was there, and he had just died. And it was like a private wake they were holding at his home. Lori held like a series of private wakes, and it was so powerful to me just to see like this I feel like emotional talking about it, because it was like, again, like one of my ultimate top tier heroes, you know, like the like godlike level. And here's this kind of like very mundane implement that he used every day, presumably, you know. It was very, very special to me.
How did you get invited? I'm not. That's a dumb way to say it, but you know what I
no,
mean.
No,
like,
it was an invite only thing. I was the guest of someone else who was invited. Like they were like, you can come and bring your squad, and you can come, and yeah, it was really
that's
special.
Incredible. And I do
they
think
don't have their name on the door, which I don't mind saying, because me and Lori have talked about this publicly in interviews. They have a fake name on the door. And she told me during an interview, it's because there had been like some kind of like suspicious behavior. And so they had to actually put like the detective's name on the door who was investigating the case. I thought it was just like, oh, well, if you're that godlike level famous,
that's what I
just don't want to be like, you know, Reed and Anderson, you know, I get it. But
Reed and Anderson, that's wild.
Reed and Anderson, partners in law.
Yeah, I was gonna say attorneys at law. Oh man, you said something. One of the philosophies of our podcast is speak up. Like you spoke about outreach, and anytime we think of someone like an Adam Duritz, we're like, all right, the only thing is just ask and be polite. You know, hey, will you be on the podcast? If not, cool, no worries. Thank you so much. See you later.
Yeah, totally.
And that's worked wonders for us.
I mean, you guys have had some amazing guests, man. Like, you know, because I always like, whenever I get asked to come on something, I always like make sure to like somewhat vet it. Because I once had this experience where I came on, and then like they turned out to be like very slightly Joe Rogan-y, and I was like, what have I walked into? So now I always listen to a little bit before, and I was like, man, like this is tough to decide which ones to jump in with, because there's like 10 artists that I love that you've had on, you know what I mean, like that I'd love to hear in this context.
You have to be a real music geek to know some of these people we've had. So our next question, ivermectin. I'm just kidding. This is on par to what you just said. What do you think Prince and Bowie's afterlife projects are like?
Oh my God, I just wrote a song about this. I'm collaborating with this band called the Just Jones. They're like one of my favorite bands in the world. They're this brother-sister duo from Motherwell, Scotland, and they have these super thick accents. So they sing on the new Fashion Brigade EP along with Lee Scratch Perry, actually. But anyway, I wrote this song. Can't wait for this record. I probably shouldn't talk about this actually, because the song's not out yet. But anyway, it's a song about what happens in the afterlife, and it involves some amazing people.
Oh, well,
I really shouldn't. Why did I talk about this? But anyway, it's I'll play it for you off the air maybe, but it's coming down the pipeline. But anyway, so okay, what was the actual question?
What was their Bowie's and Prince's afterlife projects sound like?
I feel like we already got those in this life with those two. You know what I mean? Yeah. At least with Bowie.
Oh yeah.
Same with Prince too, though. It's just like
Prince was taken from us so quickly that I feel like he didn't like Bowie processed his death and was like, you know, able to like confront it artistically, whereas Prince was just like one day there, next day gone. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, those two, my God.
I can't wait for this record. I know you can't talk more about it, but can't wait for this. I'm like,
well, I'm glad you can join my 25 monthly Spotify listeners or whatever it is. my 75 people who buy my shit, and yeah, man,
happy to support. Last silly question: what kind of what's the last physical music you bought?
I am a record junkie, and I recently, when I got back to town, I opened up, there was like 3 records there. I just got that Laraji box set that Numero Group put out.
Okay.
I didn't buy that. Amy bought that for me for my birthday, but that was one of the new purchases. I'll tell you what it is. It's that new Sun Ra reissue, Prophet, where he's playing the Prophet keyboard.
Yeah.
I love that that label's reissue series. I'm blanking on the name right now, but they also put out the one earlier last year that had. So I was playing I was playing one of those, what are they called? Modern Harmonic, I think is the label. I was playing this track where it's like, I don't know if it's Gilmore or if it's like Marshall Allen. And it's this sort of like saxophone just going higher and higher and higher. And I walked out. I have like sort of this office area that's not the studio we're talking in now, but like downstairs, this office area. And I have a record player in there. And my kid was like, what is going on in there? She was like, Daddy, it sounds like there's a cat screaming in your room. And it was totally just like a Sun Ra reissue. But that was the last one I paid for, was the Prophet reissue. And it's wild, man. It's fucking wild. I hope it hits DSPs. I can understand why it's not on there yet, or at least, I haven't seen it, but it's wild. Sun Ra gets fucking crazy on that shit.
Thank God for horns. Am I right?
Yeah, man. If we get, if we'd kept forks, we would never have had Sun Ra reissues. Yeah.
Oh man, dude, this has been a fucking. I could keep going, and
ask me one more stupid question. I'm enjoying this, man.
Okay, I'll ask you. I'm gonna ask you. I'll ask you one more. Where'd you get that fucking hat?
I have 3 of these. I like this hat so much. I actually lied, because earlier I said I'm wearing head to toe black, and this hat is like a dark gray. I have 3 of these, and it's funny. I actually sometimes, like when Castro died, people kept stopping me on the street being like, Castro. I'd never thought of it as a Cuban revolutionary, but it's like a stub nose, the shorter bill.
It's
by
like
Ben Sherman.
Though? Is it like herringbone though?
Not quite. It's like a knit,
okay.
I'm holding up to the camera for them listeners.
For the
but
listeners.
Yeah, I have 3 of them. I bought it, I think, at Ben Sherman in like Piccadilly or something in London. And then I liked it so much, I bought 2 more online. I was
it's
like, this is the hat I want to wear forever.
It's a cool, like statement hat. Subtle, I guess. And I've thought this for a while, and I guarantee you I've asked you online, like, what kind of fucking hat is that? So that's my
it's a Ben Sherman. I can't remember the model. Let's see if it says inside.
Oh, it's okay. We don't want anyone biting the style now. That's your thing.
True.
You're like, it's like your Steve Jobs the
black turtleneck
and the mom jeans.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Well, I have 2 prompts for you. One is, beside you doing the next Bothering the Band live in New York City, which will probably be October. So you're slated in already. Not October?
November?
It'll be November. You're right. My bad. It'll be my bad. After another fun surprise.
Maybe I'll have a fucking record out by then. We'll see.
And you come promote it. I don't know. We'll figure out.
I need this record. I am invested.
I'll send it to you guys. I'm serious. I'll send it to you
record.
Guys. I don't mind. I just can't let it leak yet, because it's like it's got so many, like all these other amazing people on it that are notable, and I don't want to talk about it yet. But as long as you guys are like keep it on lock, I'll send it to you.
I don't know. I'm losing it now. Well, promote yourself. You have so much shit. Tell the people where to find you.
Oh man, I mean, my favorite social media is Instagram. That's like, I mean, even before Twitter was falling apart, I was never a huge fan. And man, you could just follow me on Instagram, and that's like, it's fun because it's like, a lot of my projects I'm allowed to like post shit from before it goes live. So it's like, if you're like a high level music geek, it's like fun to see like the shit that we get to sometimes see like backstage or, in the studio before it comes. Like there's always little clips of wild shit on there. And yeah, man.
It's cool. It's for the listeners, just his name, Elia Einhorn. I have it.
Yeah. At Elia Einhorn. I think the avatar right now is Music is Everything, one of our latest shows. Yeah.
Which was cool. I listened to that when you dropped it.
I will say I honestly don't know like what's out there in the universe or whatever, but like I do thank it every day that I get to live this life in music, you know. I seriously mean that. Like, you know, I don't know what I'm thanking, but I thank it every day because it's like, you know, I've done a lot of other stuff and there's nothing that feels like this, you know. There's nothing that feels like this.
I don't know if people can even get it, but if you can get it, Sober 21 is a zine that you made, that Elia made, and it is truly magical and very different. And I think people like myself will connect with it. So I wanted to get that out. That's my
Thanks. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. But yeah, if anybody wants a physical copy, I still have a few here actually. I have like half a box left. I can send you, I'll mail you one and they're free. And I even pay for shipping because I just want people to have it. It's you know, for people who are sober or sober curious or trying to get sober, especially in music. And it's got like interviews or pieces written by like Nile Rodgers, Peter Hook, Jennifer Cardini, like all these amazing folks.
Yeah. Oh man, this has been so much fun. Again,
This has been so great.
Let's do a slumber party and just put on some like we each just trade songs and put something weird on and try to top each other.
I'm so here for this. I'm so here for you to try to top me.
No, I mean I don't think that's possible. That you're gonna go last.
All right, you guys. Well, big love and thanks again for having me on the show.
Yeah, dude. And we'll talk to you soon to let you know when this thing drops, and everyone support what Elia is doing. Because if you're into music, it's half as much as we are. He's doing the coolest shit. So
oh, thanks, man. For real. Thank you.
And that's our show. Yeah.
Big love. Peace, guys.
Saccio and frescoes in the Brancacci chapel. I was thinking about you, boy, ungodly thoughts I know, but I'm not ashamed. I was dreaming I was filming a picture with you on an island there. Somewhere off the mainland, we were alone, we were getting some practice in. I'm Sandro Botticelli, I'm torn between the old and new, between the way I've always thought I should be and the feelings that I have for you, for a boy. Well, who'd have thought I could feel this way for a boy? I never thought I could feel this way for a boy. I never thought I could feel this way for a boy. But what will all the other boys say? Will they laugh? Will they run away? I only want to be loved by everyone at the end of the day. Now is that so wrong? I never thought I could feel this way for a boy. I never thought I could feel this way for a boy. I never thought I could feel this way